Hi, we're here live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and today our topic is wrongful terminations. We've had an increase of wrongful terminations in this particular country since Obama's election. People have always gotten fired on their jobs, but now it's been a big increase as it relates to our civil rights organization. I'm your host for this evening. My name is John C. Barnett. I'm the founder of True Healing Under God Civil Rights Initiative, and we're presently based in 8 states along the East Coast. Today our guest is Mr. James Welcome from Gastonia, North Carolina. Myself, yours truly, and Mr. Welcome, we're both founders, co-founders of the Wrongful Termination Support Group. So today he's going to tell his story, so we want you all to listen closely. Mr. Welcome, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Today we're talking about wrongful terminations in this country, and it appears that you are a victim of being wrongfully terminated. Tell us your story.
Well, as you said, my name is James Welcome, and I live in Dallas, North Carolina. And I worked at this company called Wix for over 17 years. And what happened was a job came open on a different shift, and I decided to apply for it. As I applied for it, I found out that they had already picked a job for someone else. So when I went to apply for it, they said that it wrote me up. Now, but during the time they wrote me up, I didn't know they wrote me up basically because I didn't know what I had done. So what I did, I started keeping paperwork. And what I did, after the man told me I couldn't get the job, I decided to go talk to the general manager. Now, when I went to talk to him, I told him what they was doing, writing people up for no reason and taking my job from me. He turned around and told me that he was going to investigate it and everything would be okay. Unbeknown to them, what I started doing was start keeping paperwork of everything that was going on during the time I was there. Because I wanted to have some proof, because I did not trust them because the way the things had already turned out. Unknown to them, they had woke me up 2 more times, and when I got paperwork to show, they woke up in August and turned around and woke up again, right back to back. Now I had no idea that I had been rolled up because they never told me. But I found out that the companies in North Carolina, they can write you up, but they don't have to tell you they wrote you up. Okay, so as time went by, another job came open during that foreign part of the year. Now this happened in June 12th of 03. Now, come May 11th of 04, another job came open in which I signed for it, but they wrote me up again. Here's the paperwork that states that when they wrote me up, it was supposed to be first warning. Now, on the first warning, I had 2 signatures. During the time you write someone up, I think it should be, everyone should have their signature on it, and you be the one that signed it last. Now, what happened was the same man, Don Turner, that took me off the job the year before, he turned around, and he did not know that I had the pink copy. If you see this, he turned around and marked warning out and wrote termination. Now, I'm still working. The plant manager and the human resource didn't sign it until May 16th. I'm still working. Now, come May 27th, they brought me into the office and said that I was being terminated because I had 4 write-up in a 12-month period. 2 of them I knew about, the first one and just the one that just broke me up, but the other 2 I didn't. So what happened was they terminated me, but what I didn't do, I didn't sign the termination paper. Because if I'd have signed this, I've been really signing my own stuff out. So what I did, I didn't tell them I would keep all my paperwork. So what I did, when they fired me, I went and took the paperwork and went to talk to the general manager, which was on June 3rd, and showed him what they was doing. Now, instead of doing the right thing, he decided to have me go to the peer review, which is an in-house court system that Wix got. The date for this court date was June 12th. Now, by law, if I got the first write-up on June 12th, and I went to the peer review on June 12th, they should have came off. Instead of getting my job back, they still kept up the termination. So what I did, I went to the unemployment and showed them the paperwork. They in turn sent me to the EOC, who said they didn't believe the paperwork I had because they didn't realize I've been keeping stuff for a whole year of everything that was going on. After I got my letter of the right to sue from the EOC, they in turn suggested I get me a good lawyer. Now, what I did, I went to this law firm in Charlotte called Ferguson Stein Chamber Law Firm off Kenilworth. And the lawyer that they gave me was Geraldine Sumter. Now, I walked in with all this paperwork in my hand and gave it to her and told her what was going on. She said right then I had a good case. What happened was, they had their deposition, And they were bringing up stuff talking about 10 years ago, it had nothing to do with the case because the case only went from June 12th to June 12th. The date the first write-up and the day I got to the peer review. Now, after we had our deposition, they in turn said that they didn't want to sell it now. I said, okay, so we had their deposition. What she did in August of 05, she had their deposition and they admitted to falsifying documents, unlawful fine, and retaliation. Now, when I walked out of that court, out of the deposition, I told her, she said, we're going to go to court. Unknown to me, what happened during this time was this. They had went to a summary, had a thing that wrote up, they had my case dismissed because after I talked to her in August, I didn't got to talk to her no more till February when I got a letter saying that my case had been dismissed with prejudice. I'm like, well, wait a minute, how can it be dismissed? Because I know nothing about it. What she started doing, sending me letters saying that it was being dismissed by the 4th Circuit Court and she had nothing to do with it and there was nothing to be done. Now for a whole year, I corresponded back and forth with them and I got all the letters they sent me saying that they had nothing to do with it. What happened was, I was sent to the state bar. The state bar couldn't believe me because I didn't have no deposition. She didn't send me no paperwork. She didn't give me nothing. So I was between a hard place and no place. So what I started doing, I said, what I better do is start finding for myself. I started going to all these different courthouses and trying to find my paperwork, but with the grace of God, I was able to find everything that she had kept from me, the deposition, the answers, and everything. So what I did, now this happening back in 06 and 08, it took me that long to find all the paperwork. Now, once I got the paperwork, and I will show you this, what I did, and I did the simple way I can do it. I got the lawsuit which states everything that they had denied. Okay? I found the evidence that she never put in, they didn't even put in, because I got everything, the statements and everything, but they did wrong. But by me going through all this, I messed around and found the summary judgment. This is a paper that's saying that I didn't contest nothing. I read all through all these papers. And even on page 6, they lied and said I didn't sign the pink copy. Now I got all this paperwork, but what she did, she didn't send none of this in. This right here was saying that I didn't contest nothing. I didn't know nothing about this paperwork. So what I did, I took the summary judgment, the lawsuit, and the evidence, and what I did, I decided to send it to David Hoare, who was in the Senate then, and I said, I want to know what I can do. He in turn sent it back, say I need to send it to the state, to send it to the Justice Department because it didn't make sense to him.
David Hoare, next door neighbor.
Yeah, he stayed right down the street from me in Dallas.
He's the senator of North Carolina.
Now, what I did, I said, well, instead of doing that, I would go ahead and send it to the Attorney General because I remember a case with the Duke LaCrosse case where the prosecutor lied and said he evidence and didn't. My case was the opposite. She suppressed evidence. So when I sent it to him, he said send it back to the state bar. Now, this was happening in September and October of 08. I sent it to the state bar. They sent it back and said there was nothing they can do. Well, it didn't make sense to me because I'm sure I finally got the evidence. After I got through sending them, that was in October, I met with Mr. Bungett and he sent a letter to Ferguson Chamber Law Firm in December saying that they should be able to do something because it didn't make sense. Now, in January of 09, I finally was able to talk to Geraldine Sumter because me and Mr. Bungett decided to go over there and just find out what's going on. She decided to tell me that the case was still in the 4th Circuit Court and there was nothing she could do and that was about it. But she ain't never sent me no paperwork. So Mr. Bungett suggested that she send me all my paperwork that I never got. Now, my case was dismissed February the 17th, 06. By the grace of God, she sent me everything that I had already found 8 months earlier. February the 17th, 09. 3 years of statute of limitations, and then she turned around and said there was nothing she can do. Now, I in turn said, now this don't make sense because once I got the paperwork and got all this proof, why don't you bring it back up? She didn't realize that I was not going to give up. And this is what's going on right now in the state of North Carolina. This is an Edward state, but you got to have proof. And what I did, I went beyond getting proof. I've been messed up by the company after 17 years. They admit to what they did. I was messed up by wrongful representation by a lawyer because my case should never have been dismissed from the beginning. And this is what I want everyone to understand, because this is going on every day. A lot of times we will get upset because of what's going on, and we do not realize we must not give up, because you can keep fighting, but most of the companies think you're not going to fight them. My case is so unusual because I got all the proof I had. I was dismissed because this lawyer sold me out. And then I got dismissed because the state bar sold me out. The attorney general sold me out. I've been sold out by everybody, but I got more than enough proof to realize that this is happening every day. Every day. But see, a lot of times we would give up. I would decide ever since I got fired up to now, I've been fighting, and that what got me to start my wrongful termination support group, because if I can go through this, surely I can educate someone else what they don't have to go through. Because this didn't even make sense. And I feel like I was blessed to be able to find all this, because the odds were so far against me. Because most folk would, if anybody else would have walked in the office with proof beyond reasonable doubt of falsified documents, and your case is dismissed, and your lawyer don't send you more paperwork, and you go out and take a year and a half of your life trying to find it, and you get proof, and it still happens.
I mentioned about you talked about your 3 supervisors in court. They actually admitted to something. What was it they said in court that day?
They admitted to falsifying documents because they said I wasn't there when this was signed. They admitted to retaliation because they didn't want me to do this. They admit falsifying everything they were doing because they found I had proof. They did not realize that I had the pink copies.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow. So basically they admitted to guilt.
They admitted to guilt, but the lawyer got the guilt and had a summary judgment to have it dismissed on the ground that I didn't contest nothing. My case was you can only go back a year. If you look at what I was saying, the first write-up was on June 12th. My peer review from Wicks and court law thing was on June 12th. That is exactly 1 year. You can only go back 1 year. And this summary judgment, they talking about something I did 10 years ago.
What was your lawsuit amount that they expected for you to receive?
What we did, they said they weren't going to pay those 6 figures. But by them having to dismiss with prejudice, they didn't have to worry about paying nothing, because they got with the lawyer and had to dismiss. So they were looking at it's over with. But now, 7 years later, I'm still got the evidence, I'm still fighting. They didn't think I was ever going to find all the evidence to even come up with it. And if you look at it, why would I get, if it was dismissed on February 1706, why would she wait 3 years to send me everything that I already found 8 months earlier? And the state bar don't send it, the attorney general don't send it. It doesn't make sense, but see, God got a way of doing things.
So what was the amount again? Was it an estimated amount when you sat down with your lawyer? Did you all come up with an amount?
The amount that we came up with, I won $125,000 and my job back. But from the beginning, when I first got fired, a week after I got fired, when I talked to the general manager of Dana Corporation, who were Wicks, all I asked for, and believe it or not, was simple. I wanted my job back, my 1 week back pay, and my record clean. That's all I asked for from the beginning.
You've been there 17 years, no write-up?
No write-up. The only write-up I would get, and I got proof with the paperwork, was any time a job was come up, I would get rolled up. But for doing that for 18 months, I was forgotten.
Do y'all have a union at Wicks?
We don't have a union, but I would like to get one. But I think because we need to be represented, because if you go to that peer review at Wicks call it, you cannot get evidence, because the majority of the time, when you go work and you get rolled up, we as employees will do this. We will sign it and give it back.
Since President Barack Obama has been in office, how many individuals have been fired, including your family members?
I have, since he's been in office, I have had many cases of wrongful termination that came up that just don't make sense, because a lot of times they are writing you up for stuff that don't even make no sense, and you don't know what to do. Most of the average person will go to work, get off, retire, and die. They do not know anything about the company. A lot of people do not even know about the EEOC.
And what's your age?
My age right now, I'm 56.
So you expected to, or you aspire to you know, retired this job, you've been there 17 years, never had one write-up, you went to work when you were sick, aching bones, the whole nine?
The whole nine, and thought I had a good place to work, but I didn't realize until later that each company was doing this. They've been doing this. It wasn't that I'm the only one been fired. I have been seeing many people get fired, but a lot of times they never had any paperwork. When I went to the unemployment with the pink copy, they were shocked. Because this don't get out. Most companies do not keep it. If you sign something, they keep it. I was blessed to be able to get paperwork to prove it. And believe it or not, I'm not the only one that can get it, that we do not even think about our job security. Because what they're doing there is taking our job security by writing up for any and everything. And most of the time people have been fired now, they've been there for 15 or 20 years. I call that the limit time. Okay, after 15, 20 years, they getting ready to get rid of you and bring a temp in.
Wow, so since '08, since you established the wrongful termination support group, what would be your head count roughly with the individuals that have come to you that's been fired of their job? Age discrimination?
Age discrimination, fired, I would say roughly 75.
And any family members?
I ain't got any family member. I got, my wife has been fired from the same company.
How long has your wife been working on?
She's been working there since 26 years, but her case is still open.
It's still open, okay. So we have 75 people. I said call him for help. So obviously his organization is for a reason. Wrongful termination. It has increased since President Barack Obama walked into the White House with his briefcase. I today, en route to coming to take this particular video, received a call from Alabama. Elderly black man been on his job 22 years, and they're trying to write him up this evening after 22 years. So we're sending him to the EEOC office in Alabama on Monday morning. So we hope to get justice in Alabama as well. So it is something that people can do. How can they contact you? You can contact me at Jame at gmail.com or Jame at ymail.com. Okay. Or you can call me directly at 704-689-9633. What's that number again? 704-689-9633, because there's a lot of people need help, and I don't mind helping because we need to get together, and my support group have helped a lot of people to find out different information that we might need. I might know something that somebody else might be able to help you with, and we can all get together, because you need support. We have had many rallies, but I would tell people, once you come through the door of a rally, it became a support group. Because people are hurting right now. And if you look at the news now, a lot of people are getting fired, and their mind is not the way it should be. Do you think if the LAPD cop, Mr. Donner, when he lost his job, you think your organization could have helped him? I think my organization could have helped him, because we'd have found out some information that now all of a sudden they want to bring out now. And he probably would be alive today. Because he was fired in 2008, and people don't know, but what they haven't given us in the media is that he was fired from his job because he was set up or lied upon. And as he fought his case for the last 3 years, you have 3 years to file your lawsuit. And since then, 2011, when he realized that his case was going to be either dismissed or he was going to be neglected in some way, he wanted to, unfortunately, take matters in his own hand. I got a message on Facebook the other night. I thought it was interesting. A young Afro-American sister said, John, they shot the cop that lost his job, but they let the red-haired gentleman who ran up in a movie theater on the night of Dark Knight Rises, shoots up innocent people, both young and old, both white and black. He shoots them up, and yet instead of him being put upon the electric chair, he was sent to a mental health institution. So today we have serial killers in this country. But you have an individual who lost his job. I don't think that Mr. Donner was doing anything negative before he committed these crimes. What makes a man wake up in the morning and go and shoot the supervisor, the daughter, and the boyfriend? Something's happened for him to do that. You just don't wake up out of the blue and do that. He was a decorated soldier. He was in the Navy. He loved his job, obviously. Unfortunately, when you get fired, you got to deal with the reality. So today, we have the Wrongful Termination Support Group to deal with these wrongful terminations. Our civil rights organization have won lawsuits right uptown Charlotte. I've sat in office with individuals fighting for their jobs, and checks have been cut simply because of the fact that people took the responsibility to get some justice about their case. So definitely call Mr. Welcome, call us, and definitely we can help you with these wrongful terminations that's going on around the country. Please stay tuned. We will keep you posted.